I've got a new set of wireless mics to test in the studio today. So if you're tired of having your audio sound something like this, which iPhones have great mics in them, but still you can make a huge improvement by adding a simple wireless microphone. This is the M650 from AnkerWork, and it can massively improve your audio. This video is sponsored by Anker, so we're just gonna be going through and checking out a bunch of the features, testing it out, seeing what the range is like, how easy it is to use, and how some of its advanced features like noise removal work in the real world. As always, whenever I talk about audio, it's important to note that the most important thing with any microphone is getting it close to the source of the sound. So right now I'm wearing a lav mic that brings it pretty close to my mouth. And this is part of what I love about AnkerWork's M650 is because they are wireless and battery operated and extremely flexible, it lets you get them close to whatever the subject is. So it comes in this super convenient case that is, well, not just a case, it is also a large battery. It's got a USB-C input on the back, so you can just plug this in and you get up to 15 hours of power out of the whole battery pack when you're charging, and each individual mic, it comes with two, will get 6 hours each on a single charge. And I'll look at the other accessories that it comes with. I just want to appreciate for a minute the revolution of this smaller form factor. What it was just like a few years ago of using bigger transmitters and receivers. Like this was the size of the receiver I had to put on my camera. Everything has gotten so much more compact. As you can see, this is now the receiver that you put on your camera. It has a big, large, colorful touchscreen. If we take a look at its carrying bag, here's some of the other accessories it comes with. So this leather pouch that it goes in and all the other things will go inside. That includes a cable, so you can run this into a standard mirrorless or DSLR camera. Wind screens, there's one for each microphone to block any harsh wind noises. USB-C cable for charging. And these, which are a special feature of the AnkerWork mics. If you want to make it easier to identify which is which or just add a little personality to them, it comes with a few extra colors that you can just put on the outside. Just unscrew the front. And I know this mostly seems decorative, but it's actually really useful for remembering like which mic is which. This is now the green one, the other one is the black one, which I think I'm gonna do the black with this outfit. I'll start with the absolute easiest way to use this microphone. So I'm gonna attach this little windscreen. You've probably seen these on TikTok or YouTube. A lot of people have been doing, on the street interviews where they just kind of walk around with one of these, which is kind of strange. Like I'm very used to lavs and small mics being meant to be on your shirt or your clothes. This is another way to do it, and the AnkerWork is perfect for it. So now I'll take the receiver. They're automatically paired in the case, so I don't have to do any work there. I just need to plug this into my camera. And here we are. Now we're going handheld with a small little interview mic. This is how you're gonna get the absolute best audio quality out of it because it's pretty close to my mouth, as you can see. The only thing you need to worry about is that the proximity changes a lot. So if you're handling it and moving around like this, you're not gonna get consistent quality. So you need to think about where it is and just keep it in the same place for the duration of the interview. But now let's make a little adjustment here. I'm gonna take off this windscreen. But of course, you don't have to handhold these. You can attach them to things in a bunch of different ways. So there is a clip on the back that you can see, and the clothes that I'm wearing right now don't really work for that. It's not ideal. So if you just give that clip a little pull, you'll notice that it is a magnet. So you can put one side under your shirt and the other side in the front, and now all of a sudden, it's gonna be attached to you all day, everywhere you go. And of course, the advantage of wireless is it means you can walk around, be any distance from the camera, and it's still gonna work just fine. So let's find out, what is the range like if we take these outside? All right, we're here at El Matador Beach, and it's a great place to test two different aspects of this microphone. One is the wind screen, which I've got attached. It just snaps on and should cut out any of the wind sounds that you're hearing. It should just be my voice and a little bit of the ocean in the background. And the other is the range. I'm gonna go down this cliff, see how long the signal holds up for. Let's see what happens. I'm about halfway down the cliff right now, pretty far away, much further than you'd usually be from a camera in real life. But how is the audio? Anya, can you give me a sign?
Looks good.
I got 2 thumbs up.
Like, comment, subscribe.
You guys can hear, but I can't. I think it's working. The important thing about a strong signal like this isn't necessarily a long shot like this, which doesn't happen very often, but it's that it can still function in a more crowded environment where maybe you have trees or walls nearby, and that the signal's gonna be able to move around those just fine. We're out in an open space, so it should be working well, but the further we go, the more it's gonna struggle. Let's go to the ocean and see how it works. All right, I made it to the water. This is about how far away Anya is from me. Anya, how do I sound from up there? All right. In my testing, I just didn't find the limit of the range. They're rated for 200 meters with their TrueLink technology, and this just means you're not gonna have to worry about it. There's not many times that your camera's gonna be more than 200 meters away from you. But there's another test I wanna try here in the studio. They also feature voice shield technology for when you're in a noisy environment. which the studio is super hot today, so I guess it's about to get loud in here. Better put on my windscreen just in case. So first, let's get this fan going. Actually, this feels great. It is so hot in here today. But this is what it sounds like for reference when it's just a few inches away from me. Now we're gonna turn on voice shield. And this is what it sounds like with the noise reduction turned to low. This isn't the high setting, this is the low setting, which I don't know if it's enough because this fan is pretty darn noisy in here. Anytime you use a big camera like this, you expect great audio, but what's nice is that it's just as easy to get that professional audio on an iPhone too. So let's pull out the adapter and see what it can do. Okay, here we go. Now we're doing it on the iPhone. By the way, my audio in this studio is just terrible. Like, look at these ceilings. They're cement. There's just nothing I can do to make it sound better. Let's try going outside. It has been so cold and snowy outside. I haven't been able to record anything out here for like weeks now because it's been freezing. This is the first nice day in a while. So when is it worth it to have a wireless mic like this you're talking to your iPhone? So right now I'm doing kind of a regular talking to camera where I'm keeping it the same distance. That's not really necessary, and generally, I suggest people keep their kit as simple as possible. You don't need to add complexity to it unless you're doing something like this, where you're gonna be a little bit more dynamic and moving around and further away. Now the audio is consistent the whole time. It's not getting quieter and louder as I move closer and further. So in a situation like this, or if somebody else is filming you, definitely have a wireless mic. It makes a huge difference. Actually not as cold as it looks like. I know you can see my breath, but the sun makes a huge difference. It's pretty nice out. By the way, if you've never heard of Calgary, which is where I am, the great thing here is we get warm winds called Chinooks, where it suddenly gets like 10, 20, 30 degrees warmer in just one day. And it absolutely makes the winters more bearable. This doesn't happen anywhere else in Canada. So it's one of the great things about being here. Oh, and if anybody watched The Last of Us, there's a bunch of filming locations that were right around here. Like over here, just past that arch is where the Boston area was. And there's a park back there where a bunch of the nature outdoors stuff was. And then over here, this is cool. And this overpass, this leads right into downtown. So it's busy and they shut it down for days and filled it with zombie cars. It was in episode 2, I think. It was really crazy to see, and one of the times that you can most clearly identify Calgary in the show. And by the way, this showcases another great feature. When I'm not on camera, my audio sounds the same whether or not I'm on screen. So there's some consistency with the audio. You don't have to think about it. It just keeps working. The AnkerWork mic has a pretty similar feature set to the DJI mic, but it's got a larger touchscreen, more color options, and it's $80 cheaper. Having a reliable wireless transmitter and receiver is great. I absolutely love it, but I always want to have a backup. You never know what could possibly either interfere with it, or if you didn't plug a cable in the way you thought, or you had a setting wrong, you can always record backup internally to the receiver. So you're going to have the best quality possible, no matter what else is happening around you. I'd recommend doing this for anything where the audio is important. You can always go back and sync it later in post if you need to. Just have alternate options. There's also other ways to kind of protect your audio. Like, for example, you can record either in stereo or in mono. Just select it in the menus on the receiver. I like to record in stereo, so that puts one of the mics on the left and the other on the right. Then I can always mix them later in post instead of having them both on the same channel. So that's the AnkerWork M650. TrueLink gives you a 200-meter wireless range. Voice Shield noise removal is built in, and they come with a bunch of color options. And there's also a white version of the kit if that's what you prefer. Check out the link in the description. Did I mention they're also a very reasonable price compared to the competition? Definitely think you should click on it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. I guess all that's left is to do the swim test.